Sticky Fingers, a digital story created by Miss Parrish's second grade class.
Do you want to learn how to make maple syrup? Did you know that maple syrup comes from a maple tree? Did you know that maple syrup can come in different colors? If you want to learn all about how to make maple syrup, read on and you will find out.
First, you have to find a healthy maple tree. Be sure that it is a sugar maple tree. This is the type of tree that has the sweetest maple sap.
If you want to get maple sap, you need to go into the woods at the end of the winter. While you are there, look for a sugar maple tree.
Next, get a maple tree tap. A maple tree tap is a tool that taps into the bark of a maple tree where the sap is.
Then place a bucket underneath the tap. The bucket will collect the sap as it flows out of the maple tree.
After the sap is collected in the bucket, the sap is brought to the sap house. The sap house is the place where maple sap is made into maple syrup. Now let us show you how that happens.
The first thing we are going to do in the sap house is turn on the boiler. The boiler is a machine that heats up the sap to a boil. As you boil the sap, the water from the sap gets really hot. Heat changes water from a liquid to a gas. Water in its gas form is called steam or vapor. Once the water has been removed from the sap becomes thick. This thick sap without the water is called syrup.
After the syrup has been produced, it needs to be cooled down. A special tube connects the boiler to a cooling tank. The syrup flows in the tube from the boiler to the cooling tank.
Once the syrup has cooled, the spouts that are connected to the cooler are opened to let the syrup flow into the collecting buckets.
After the syrup is cooled, any debris that is not wanted in the syrup is removed using a filter system. Now the syrup has to get heated up one more time while you ask. So when they pour the hot syrup into the bottle, the heat kills any germs that may have been there.
Now the syrup gets poured into bottles of different sizes. The bottles then get packed into boxes and loaded onto trucks. The trucks will take the bottles of syrup to the store and markets.
We would like to thank Mrs. Krieger for all of her support in creating this digital story. We would also like to thank Alice and Dale Deal for all of their encouragement in learning how to make maple syrup.